jumping to another big one. All right, so I just deleted it by accident. There we go.
Murderer.
So I've gone through this cycle in life. I've been married 24 years. We've been together 25. At a certain point, you kind of stop. It all blurs together, right?
Quarter century.
For literally, we've been together longer than we were ever apart. She was 18 when we got married, and I was 23. So we both have passed that marker of we've been together longer than we were ever apart, which is pretty cool. Man, those divorce papers are going to hurt when I serve them. But anyway, sorry. Dark humor. All right. The question is for the problem of Papas. I know a lot of times it's tongue in cheek. Here's the fun thing, but I really felt like this is a good question I wanted to ask and see what you thought as a creator. And I'm glad Steven's here and some other people that can feed into this. Do we need our spouse's support? And let me qualify that a little bit. I mean, I think the obvious answer for anybody is yes. You're a team. You have to be on the same page. I don't mean that. I mean, my wife still doesn't understand what I do here, right? You know, she's going to Dragon Con a couple of times. Very rarely does she sit and watch any of the shows, right? She doesn't seem to. Kelsey, now we bribe her with popcorn, and now she's on our dime. You know, if you run out of popcorn, dude, just hit the PayPal. We got you. We're going to make sure she still watches. But like, I've been talking about so much, but Better Man, I came out just changed from watching that movie. She's like, I don't get it. I don't know why we had to watch it, which, let me side note, stupid Americans, you don't have to do anything. This movie is not being forced on you like Clockwork Orange prying the eyes open. You choose to go see it or not. So anyway, she didn't get it. And I've been... yes, it is Random Kid. Popcorn's not a joke, says Random Kid. So she's got some people on her team. Team Kelsey now. I don't mean that. So everybody's like, yes. So yeah, I don't mean like partners, but I mean in the sense of I just see this world that a lot of other people don't see, right? I just see possibilities. I see where I need to go. I couldn't have gotten where I am today if I didn't, at 12 years old, start seeing a vision of myself on a stage in front of people and not knowing what that would look like or meant, but that's where I got to go. Most people don't understand that. And I'm okay with most people, but for the longest time, I struggled with her not understanding podcasts. Now, I had her support. She was supportive, you know, not that we're the family that says, I give you permission, but when you're taking time away from your family, the partner has to be okay with that. Or in other words, allow that to happen. Right. So she would allow me to take the time to do the podcast. She would allow me to go to different things as life's gone on. I mean, I've missed a few anniversaries because I was at conventions. I've missed some birthdays, and it's okay. My kids that's their life. They've just understood that all their life because I'm there other times. But there had to be some balance, but I've gotten that support, but she definitely doesn't understand my need to be in front of people. She doesn't understand the creative heart I have and how fragile it can really be, and that little child inside of myself that I need to learn how to express and protect at the same time. So that's what I mean by, as creators, do we need to have our spouse's support and the fact that they see it, they believe in you. That Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne has been his manager forever. It feels like, I mean, it might have literally been forever, and they've been married forever. But she gets it, right? They are side by side. She's getting them out there. She got her own shows, all this stuff. That's a duo of creators. I'm not going to speak for your house, Joe. I'm not sure how you would describe your house, but my house is not a duo of creators. We are very alike in a lot of ways. When it comes to this, we are opposites. So if you hopefully understand the premise of the question, Joe, do we need our spouse's support to be able to do what we were born to do in life?
So obviously your spouse doesn't have to understand the need to create, but they do need to be supportive of it. So they don't, I don't think they have to create with you or anything like that. But I think anything that's going to be pulling time potentially away from the family is something that you need to discuss with your spouse and get their support, at least in that regard.
No, yeah. I'm trying to think where my brain wants to go with this. I feel weird when.
I mean, everyone's weird.
No. I'm awesome. I feel weird. I feel out of sorts, sir. Like when Tyra gets it, right? Phil is just about as close to me as my wife is. I mean, we've gotten so intertwined in our lives in the last couple of years that creatively, that even watching Better Man, you know, I was thinking I kind of wish Phil was here, because I knew she didn't care for it. She didn't like it, and that's okay. It is okay. But I want her to kind of see the world that I see, and I'm always dealing with some kind of demon, some kind of something in my past I'm trying to work through or whatever. But one of the things is, I always kind of felt like I had to choose one path or the other, and I've worked my life that way and found a balance and kept moving forward and this and the other. This Chattacon will be the first time she's ever gone. Other than she went to Dragon Con, but it's just a different thing. She kind of, I gave it to her.
She was present at Dragon Con. I wouldn't say she went to Dragon Con.
Yes, she was present. She didn't go, but she also went to serve, and that's one of her love languages. And I knew she would get something out of it, and she absolutely loved preparing food for people and being there and meeting the need. But not enough, right? Because there were some other things that are important that came out of it. But this Chattacon, and she's only coming because we're making our anniversary trip, basically, because we didn't get inspired to really set something up this year at all, and it just worked out that way. And she'll be at the con a little bit, and I don't expect her to be there much, you know, but I've always wanted her to be my biggest fan, I guess I should say. And she's not. You know, not that she dislikes what I do, but she's not my biggest fan. You know, Devo and Steven are fighting for that position. So, you know, keep campaigning. You might win, guys. Patreon.com/wise__nerd. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Joe? That
Yeah.
I'm wanting something that I can't have. And I just recently realized I'm okay with that to a point, but I'm still coming to terms with it.
So you want a cheerleader instead of just someone that enables it?
Yes. That's a cheerleader still seems a little not quite on the nose for the concept, but the way you phrase it, yes, a cheerleader is higher than somebody who enables it. Yes.
You want the three-legged race partner.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I want the
but so she's just not in step with you, and doesn't understand where you're coming from. She's not in sync with you, and you wish that she was. 90s
bands? Is that what we're doing? What are we doing?
I mean, she doesn't want it that way.
I appreciate the effort you put in to that squirrel of a joke. It took me about half a second to catch you, but that was. Steven says, I'm bummed when my wife doesn't dig something like I do, but that's also why I have all my nerdy friends. And there's definitely something to be said about that, for sure. I'll be honest, Tyra is one of the few nerdy friends that my wife has cared for. She broke Phil, by the way. Like, Phil is like, the crap that your wife sends me on TikTok, I can't even. I'm like, holy crap, you're a goblin. I didn't think you could be broken.
In my TikTok.
Oh, I don't know, because she'll give me a light taste of it. It's I don't know, some weird humor, some dumb stuff. I mean, it's hard to describe, but it's enough where I'm like, I don't want to see it. I don't think it's funny. I'll go, I'm not Phil. So she's still like, I mean, she sends a lot of. She has a very dark, weird sense of humor sometimes. That is like, not for me. But oh, now this sounds like a quote, but like, sometimes you just want someone who would help you make stickers, man. I guess I want somebody who sees what I can't see, right? Like, I'm going in this direction, I'm inspired, I do this thing, and I love her to go, hey, I know you so well, and I know where you're going with this. You should try this thing, and go, oh my God, that's amazing.
Someone that helps the process instead of just being the emotional support.
That's a good phrase. Now, John says, this is funny that you're having this conversation because I plan on leaving a speed pipe. He's going to talk really fast on that thing pretty soon. And I'm not one to point out flaws and typos because Lord knows I dictate typos all the time. I just leave them in my text and send them on. But yeah, would love to hear what you have to say on that, Devo. Back in the day before podcasting, when I had a band, I really wanted her. I don't know. Okay. This going back to screen time. It's not about the time of the screen, but it is about what's on the screen. I probably watched too many dumb 90s movies where the support was just the biggest fan and oh my God, you're the best guitar player, baby. All that stuff, whatever, this band doesn't need you. You're the superstar. And it's just, we used to have fights early on before, there's pre-kids and there's post-kids. So the first 5 years of pre-kids, in the pre-kid section of our life, when I was really working the band stuff hard, we get in fights because she said she would support me. And that would just mean she would show up. I'm like, this is not support. And we didn't know the word love languages and all that then. It's like, this is not support at all. You just showing up going, eh. And putting on the face, you can't see me on the podcast, but kind of like I'm a here face is not support to me. But I did have to learn that because she was saying yes to letting me spend money on these things and take time to do it and focus on that instead of her or anything else she'd want to do, that was her way of supporting something she didn't understand. And Random Kid says, Charles wishes his wife was a rock goddess of podcasting. It's funny you should say that. For the longest time, she is the domestic goddess, and she actually still talks to people that way sometimes about, oh, what do you do? I'm a domestic goddess, and it's fun. And then he says, then their kids wouldn't be stuck being demigods. They are kind of stuck being demigods, but that's okay. Hercules did all right for himself. So do you have anything else to say on that one, Joe?
Yeah, I don't think I mean, I guess it depends on the person, but for me, I don't need my wife to be in lockstep with me in my creative process. It's sufficient to me that she supports and enables me to enjoy this creative process. She does show up and listen more often than not, and so I'm happy about that. She gets her popcorn and loves the drama.